Shalom, shalom, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatam, to all the 12 tribes scattered abroad. I am from the tribe of Issachar. My name is Yahanan, and I'm here to address some of the concerns that I have. Some of the TikTok comments, man, I'm just seeing how there is a lot of false speech, false talking, lying about how we are not from the tribe of Issachar. And today I'm just going to show you a little bit of why we believe and we know that we are from the tribe of Issachar. And I'm going to start from 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. It says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land." So this verse is talking about how the king of Assyria carried northern kingdom that was prophesied by Isaiah. They were going to go into captivity. How the king of Assyria, he took the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom, captive over the waters, and so came they into another land. Right? Look what it says. "But they took this counsel among themselves." So the northern kingdom, they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. So this is how the 10 tribes started to find a place where they could worship God without fear, right? Without fearing the other nations. So they went into a land where never mankind dwelt, right? That they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. They were for a year and a half, right? And held still the flood. And the same region is called Arsareth. The same region is called Arsareth. Now, look at what happens when you Google, just put Arsareth. If you have Google, which all of us do, right? Really easy. If you Google Arsareth, look what comes out. Hopefully you guys can see that right there, right? So look what it says. "The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration." That is from the Jewish Encyclopedia, right? The Jewish Encyclopedia. You click on it, look what it says. So what I just read, and then it says, Columbus identified America with this land. Columbus identified America with this land. So this is how Christopher Columbus found out that there was people over here beyond the waters. So then guess what? Christopher Columbus decides to go to that land, right? And now to go back real quick, that was just in the 2nd Ezra 13:40. Columbus read that and he knew that there was people in this land. And who did he find over here? The 10 tribes, right? Now, if you go to Deuteronomy 28, it's promised that some curses would follow the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And one of them, if they break God's laws, that the curses would follow them. This is what he said in verse 15, right? "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." That's a promise. Of course, the 10 tribes over here, they forgot about God, right? They started worshiping other gods, and this curse, one of the curses that I'm going to read to you, became real to them, right? And we're going to go to verse 49. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49. Look what it says. "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far." So that's what happened. Where did Columbus come from? Where did the Spanish conquistadores come from? They came from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, right? And isn't it ironic that the what represents America and even Mexico, right? What they have is the eagle, right? from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So it's a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. He shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of the land, and thou be destroyed. Right? So he's going to take everything when he gets over here. And it was a tongue that you did not understand, because that's why if you look around here, there's a lot of stones with Hebrew written in it, because Spanish is not our language. That's why we talk it all chopped up, right? Spanish people will make fun of our language, that we're improper. That's because we had to relearn a new language. Our true language was Hebrew. So when he came over here, Christopher Columbus, he brought Hernan Cortez, who knew Hebrew, so that he could deceive our people. And he did, right? So he brought a nation because we broke God's laws. Then the nations came over here, the conquistadores. They came to this side and found what people call the Native Americans, right? The ones that were here already, the lost tribes of Israel, 10 tribes, as we read in Ezra. That's who he found over here. And like it says right here, that he ate the fruit of thy cattle, the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which is what happened to us. We're so destroyed, we don't even remember that we are from the tribe of Issachar. But this is a curse that was promised to happen to you, so-called Mexican, right? And I'm talking about the ones that were conquered by the Spanish people, not people that live in Mexico that call themselves Mexican because they live there. There's Spaniards there too, right? I'm not saying, I'm talking about those who were conquered by the Spanish conquistadores. You are from the tribe of Issachar, right? So, real clear, it's obvious here in the scriptures that if we break God's laws, these signs would follow the Israelites. And let me just show you that real quick. That is in Deuteronomy 28 verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever. So when the Israelites break God's law, these curses come into place. And guess what? That happened to us. That happened when Christopher Columbus and conquistadores came over here. We forgot our God, and therefore God allowed this curse to happen to our life, to our people, and that's why we got conquered. So that's all I got for you guys today. Just because I saw some of the comments, there's a lot of attack on us from other people that believe in Deuteronomy 28, right? That say that we are not from the tribe of Issachar. I'm just here to show you why did Christopher Columbus read second Ezra 13, 40 through 45 to find and found out that there was people over here. How did he come to that conclusion? Is because he read it in the scriptures. That's how he found us. So that means that the people that were over here on this land, the ones he found, those are the 10 tribes, the lost sheep of the house of Israel that Christ came for in Matthew 15, 24. And with that, I'll leave you with that. I want you to chew on that. I'm gonna make a part 2, just a little bit more on Deuteronomy 28, maybe explaining a little more of how we are from the tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans that were conquered by the Spanish conquistadores. And with that, I say Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatam, family.
Why do you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only 2 ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a 3rd way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
How can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. We are burning people for less. The men you're about to confront